Hi, and welcome back to Level Up from Zero, where we show you how to get started with Google Cloud Platform hands-on. Today I'll cover connecting different GCP projects together using virtual private clouds, or VPCs. We want to run our applications in different projects to benefit from that separation of concerns and group-based access control we discussed in the previous videos. So how do we allow our applications to talk to each other securely through a network that doesn't go across the public internet when they're in separate projects? This is where configuring a shared VPC can help us. If you're familiar with VPCs from other clouds, it's worth noting that GCP works a little differently. We'll be using shared VPCs for connecting two projects, but this is all done with software-defined networking on top of Google Andromeda. This means that our traffic stays on Google's private network and benefits from its security, reliability, and low latency. Currently, Team Yellow has just gotten started developing their two applications called Alfalfa and Broccoli, and have development projects for each. Let's demonstrate the network segmentation they have by default. Using an account on Team Yellow, we'll quickly create a VM in the Alfalfa dev project. We'll use the default internal network and no external IP addresses on the public internet. Now let's repeat this process for a second Alfalfa VM and one in the Broccoli project as well. A quick SSH to one of the VMs in Alfalfa shows that it can successfully ping the other VM in Alfalfa. But here we can see it cannot reach the VM in Broccoli. This is because they're in two different projects that don't share a VPC. Looking at our company team structure from the last video, the network admins have control over the shared VPC configuration. So in our organization, Team Yellow would submit a request to the network admins to do the necessary network setup. Using a network admin account, let's create a project in their team folder. This project will host the shared VPC. The development teams don't have permission to access resources in this folder, so that keeps the networking control centralized in the hands of our network admin team. With the project created, we can now go to Shared VPC in the Cloud Console and start the wizard. With the yellow VPC host project selected, click Save and continue to make it into a host project. Here we'll share all subnets. Project-level sharing can be a simple way to handle VPC sharing when using infrastructure automation, like Deployment Manager or Terraform. Just make sure to have a process in place that maintains your deployment integrity, so that you don't end up with resources unexpectedly having connectivity. Finally, we attach the Alfalfa and Broccoli dev projects to the shared VPC and confirm everything completed successfully. In our organization, the network admins team will now let the developers know that everything is ready for cross-project communication. So switching back to an account on Team Yellow, let's create another round of VMs in the development projects. This time when we open the networking interface options, notice how we have this option for shared networks from the host project Yellow VPC host. Here we'll choose the default subnetwork and again turn off external IP addresses exposed to the public internet. Now we'll do the same for the other development project. Again, quickly SSHing into one of our new VMs, we can grab the IP for the VM in our other development project and test connectivity. Great, everything looks good. Okay, so what about connectivity for networks that aren't in our GCP projects? Getting on-premises resources talking to Google Cloud securely requires a different kind of connection. The most common approaches are establishing a VPN tunnel or using a dedicated interconnect. Both of these approaches have their advantages, but for full-scale hybrid enterprise production, we recommend an interconnect. It can provide better performance and lower management overhead, and is often more cost-effective in high-utilization scenarios. Finally, if you need to connect resources in your VPC to one owned by a different GCP organization, you want to use VPC peering. This is useful if you, for example, want to offer your application services to another company, or in cases where you control more than one GCP organization. So, now you see how you can configure a shared virtual private cloud that allows projects in your organization to communicate with one another. Obviously, VPCs and enterprise networking are bigger topics than can be covered in a Getting Started video. If you want a primer, I highly recommend taking a look at the GCP Networking End-to-End series here on YouTube. You'll find a link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to be kept up to date with the latest video releases. If you have questions or ideas for more getting started topics, leave a comment. Thanks, and see you next time.